Moving on to a new chapter, Datetime Series Methods. We're going to learn about the DT accessor, which provides access to date-time only methods. This is going to be similar to the str accessor, which we just looked at and provides access to string only methods. So both the DT and str accessors are only available to series. So you have to select that column from your data frame as a series, and then you get access to it. All right, so the DT accessor has its own portion of the API, which is linked over here. So you can see that here's all the available functionality. Most things are pretty simple. So the DT accessor it's a little bit simpler than the str accessor. Most things are attributes, which they call them properties here, which means that you don't supply a parentheses over here to call it. You just use the name, like second or week or whatever. There are methods you can see here that you need to call with parentheses. So we're going to look at both these attributes and methods. And we're going to begin by looking at the attributes. So I do make a note here that the DT accessor is simpler than the str accessor. There's just less functionality. So the first thing we need to do, obviously, is read in our data, which we didn't do that. We're going to look at the bikes data frame. You need to have a date time column. So we've already converted start time and stop time. And we're going to look at a single column, start time. And let's just output the first 5. So the way it works is you do your column or your variable name dot DT then dot, and this gives you a new menu of items to choose from. Very cool. Here we can just look at the year. This just extracts the year of these bike rides. We can look at month. There's even month name. Actually, this is so a little bit confusing is that some of these are attributes, some of these are methods, and sometimes it's okay. You're not going to remember. If nothing comes up, then that just means you've accessed a method. You need to call it. So you can get that, the month name, the day, the weekday. This is 0 is Monday, 6 is Sunday. If you do shift tab, you will get the documentation for it, so you can see what it actually represents. You can also just pull out the hour. Notice that this is returned as an integer. It just pulls this hour out, right? 19, 22, and so forth. You can get the minute, second, part of second, whatever part of that, of that date time, you can actually pull out of and get it specifically. All right. There's also, you can also determine whether or not something a date is at the end of the month or end of the year through these is attributes, is month end. This is also an attribute. If you try to call this as a method, you will get an error. So you'll know you have to sometimes just play around with it. You can also press shift tab. It'll say property if it's an attribute. Otherwise, it'll show the method signature so you know it's a method. So you can ask whether or not each one is a month end, or is it the year end, or whatever is the quarter end or the quarter start. All right, so those are the attributes. Pretty simple to get. Just do .dt and then get that list, and you'll be able to find the one that you need.